going to ask Dave to mute the lines out so we make sure nobody misses a word from our presenters. Perfect. So I want to welcome you really quickly to the TeamViHOPE call. We really try to figure out, every week we try to bring up topics that we know are interesting to people and also something that they can relate to, and sometimes things that we struggle with or ways that we can improve our challenge and find more and more success. When you're somebody who has a lot of weight to lose, as most of us on the call have lost upwards of 100 pounds, some even more, it's a long journey, and it doesn't just happen overnight. And so there's lots of pitfalls and lots of trials that we go through. If you don't know me, I'm Faith Sims. Some people call me the People's Champ. Some people call me Vi's Strongest Woman. I was once bedridden at over 350 pounds, definitely a food addict, and I was out of hope and out of time. I was stuck in bed due to some obesity-related issues, and I literally thought that was going to be just the end of things for me because I really didn't know how I was going to be able to get weight off when I was stuck in bed. And thankfully, somebody cared enough about me to introduce the challenge to me, and so my first challenge, I was bedridden. I think I went in the pool a couple of times because that was about all that I could do. I lost 40 pounds and 21 inches in my first challenge, and I knew that I had found something that was going to work, not only work on the short term, but also it was something I could stick with and make a lifestyle out of for the rest of my life. So fast forward, here we are. I've been in ViSalus for 5 years. I am a national director. I was a regional champion for Eastern Canada in the active and fitness category, and I pull trucks. I now pull airplanes. I've lost over 150 pounds, and it's just been a really incredible journey. But I do want to tell you that I struggle all the time with emotional eating and stress eating. It's definitely something for me that I struggle with all the time. So I'm really excited for tonight's call. I'm really excited for everything that we're going to learn tonight. But I want to introduce our brand new 100-pound club member. I'm so excited. Out of Atlanta, Georgia, we have Therri Coleman. Therri, are you on the line tonight?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly, and I can't wait for you to take just a couple of minutes. Tell us how you came to ViSalus, what your story is, what kit you used, all that kind of juicy stuff that everybody wants to know.
Well, I'm excited to be here, and I'm so excited to meet all of you out there. I came to ViSalus. My boyfriend at the time told me about ViSalus, and he is part of the crew that came out of Jacksonville, and he told me about it. And it came at a great time because just prior to about 18 months before I started with ViSalus, I had been looking at something that would help me with weight loss because I found myself, as I shared in my story, I found myself on the verge of having a stroke in beautiful Las Vegas, and having been hospitalized 2,000 miles away from my family was not fun. And so when I finally got out of the hospital, made my way back to Atlanta, I did some research to determine which program was going to be best for me. And my boyfriend had told me about ViSalus. So I thought, you know what, I think I can do that. So I combined my knowledge, having been a spa professional, and all the tricks I know about, body wrap, skincare, and also as a massage therapist, I combined all of those things together with the ViSalus program, and I took on the 90-day challenge. And in 90 days, I lost 120 pounds. And luckily for me, I documented every minute of it. Well, every week I took pictures, and it happened so quickly I couldn't even believe what was happening to my body. But the beautiful thing about it is that was 3.5 years ago, and I've been able to maintain my weight loss with also the ViSalus products. And I used the transformation kit. Back then, that was one of the few things we had. And since, to maintain my weight loss, I enjoyed the crunch, as well as the shape of the transformation product as well. The transformation kit, I'm sorry, I get a little nervous. So, but that's my story. Having been in the spa business with, deteriorating cartilage in my knees from having been a makeup artist, and had to be on Celebrex that caused me to have an enlarged liver, which then pushed me to being borderline diabetic. And those two things combined, in a high-stress career managing. I had 2 locations of my own business. It was a recipe for hypertension, which landed me smack dab in the middle of a hospital in Las Vegas. But thanks to ViSalus, I rebounded from that, and it's been a life-changing experience for me. I have my vitality back, and my new motto is health is the new wealth. And so I no longer chase those dreams of big business and, all those things that you think money can buy. I realized money could not buy me my health. So ViSalus allowed me to get that back.
That is an incredible story. It's really amazing just to see, somebody, again, you felt like you were out of hope, out of time, and your health was really at risk, and you were able to take the challenge and not only transform your physical body, but your health as well, and your mindset, it sounds like. So we want to open up the lines real quick, Dave, because we want everybody to just give a huge hoorah to Therri and say so let's give her a huge and say congratulations.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Fantastic. That's really amazing. We look forward to continuing to follow your journey because I just know that there's so much more ahead for you. And my next guest that I'm really excited to share with, Therri, make sure you stay by your phone and be ready to unmute yourself because we are going to do a little bit of a panel a little bit later. So we're going to do some discussions with Solomon. But our next guest is Solomon Stretch, and we heard him on the TeamViHOPE call a little while back, and we like to call him our Vi expert because he actually has done some counseling and he's in some family therapy and some really interesting, even in psychology and stuff. And so we felt he was one of the best people to have on this call because we know that a huge weight loss transformation is not only something you have to undertake physically, but if you don't address the mindset and the mental battle and the mental side of the trauma, the weight loss and all that kind of stuff, that you can really stall yourself and even go backwards because that is definitely something that we struggle with. So Solomon, why don't you unmute yourself and introduce yourself, tell us who you are, give a little bit of your background, and we're just looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, hello, everyone. I am Solomon Stretch. I am a regional director with ViSalus, and I started ViSalus as a customer. I started in 2013 after I graduated from my master's program in 2012. My dad took a graduation picture of me, and when I finally saw it, I was like, oh, wow, this is what I look like after 2 years of a master's program. And I couldn't believe it. And so one of my friends cared enough about me and introduced me to the shake. He gave me some samples to last me for a week. And so I took the samples. In my first week, I lost 10 pounds. And then after my first challenge, I believe I lost 50 pounds. So after my first 90 days, I lost 50 pounds. Then I just continued to lose and lose and lose. I've done a total of 7 challenges, I believe, and I am down 120 pounds now. And, as you've heard, I am a licensed mental health therapist, and I cannot tell you how different my mindset has been now that my mind, my body, and my life is 120 pounds lighter. Everything that I have done since starting the challenge has been a huge reflection of, just taking that first step, saying, yes, I'm going to try this, and staying committed. And being committed is going to be the biggest thing that's going to push you towards whatever your goal is and beyond. Because when I first started, my goal was only to lose maybe about 30 pounds because I had an imaginary number of what I weighed in my head. That number that's on your driver's license, that's actually a lot smaller than what your actual weight is. But I set out to lose 30 pounds, and I thought I would be okay. And since then, I went from a size 48 waist to I believe I'm a 32 now. So my life has changed tremendously. And for the past 4 years, I have been in mental health as a licensed counselor. And that has even changed. I'm still counseling, but I am currently managing a gym here in Atlanta, Georgia, because I want to bring that same transformation to other people every day that they walk into the gym and every day that they leave.
That's amazing. I really love that you've been able to branch out into not just the mental health side, but also now the physical side. So that's pretty incredible. Please stay close to the mute button because we are going to actually have some question and answer, and we definitely need your wisdom for sure. So thank you so much for getting on this call and for sharing a little bit of your story. Congratulations, because that's an incredible. I love how you say, well, I thought I only had 30 pounds to lose, because we all kind of trick ourselves, right? Like, oh, I just have a little bit, really. And then 120 pounds later, here you are and completely transformed. That's really awesome. So my co-host tonight is the big Pat Ryan, and he's actually made a bit of a comeback in the last little while. I know that, Pat, you've suffered from a bit of an injury that has kept you from the working out side of things, at least in the gym, lifting weights and that kind of stuff. But you really kind of took the bull by the horns, and you knew that nutrition was going to be just a huge, huge part of maintaining your transformation, because you've also had an incredible transformation. He's one of our VI champs in the active and fitness category, and I just love this man to pieces. We actually met in line at an event very, very early on. We have several before photos sort of as we go along our journey. Each picture we get better and better and better. So I want to introduce one of my closest friends and someone who has kept me off the ledge many, many times throughout the course of this journey. Pat, are you here? And I want you to just take it from here.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfect.
Way to make me cry right at the beginning of the call. It's been a while since I've been on. Why not? Hey, guys. Pat Ryan here. Thanks, Faith. Pat Ryan here, National Director with ViSalus. 4.5 years on the challenge now, and as Faith said, a national VI champion. Weight loss of 150 pounds, but it wasn't that easy. It started with 15 pounds in 3 weeks. I was a skeptic for 9 months. I had a skinny guy that bugged me about a weight loss shake, and I told him to take that shake and just go away. Let's put it that way. Many, many ways, many times. I just didn't want anything to do with it. So when your doctor tells you that your blood pressure is 170 over 90, you're walking a heart attack, and if you don't do something about it, you do something about it. So I called the skinny guy, grabbed the shake, tastes like cake. I lost 15 pounds in 3 weeks, 56 pounds in 90 days, 100 pounds in 9 months, and then I started to work out. So as Faith said earlier, nutrition is one of the biggest things about the transformation. 150 pounds lost in a little over a year. VI champ in 2013, built 20 pounds of muscle. I've kept most of it off. I'm an actor in Toronto, going to be on a new show coming out on Identification Discovery later this year called Paranormal Investigator. Don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but I'm doing it anyway. And that's it. I just keep going. I'm a dreamer. I'm not your normal, average, everyday guy who goes to work and just lives. I thrive on this. I thrive on helping people change. I thrive on the challenge. And I thrive on sharing stories. That's why these calls are so absolutely amazing. And today is about emotional eating, and you can hear the emotion in my voice. It's always there. I am one of the biggest emotional eaters you'll ever find. And the lady sitting next to me is one of our other guests, and she can attest to that for me for sure, because she saved me from me many times. I'm going to have Lauren come on and tell her story. Hey, Lauren, say hi.
Well, hello, everybody. I am Lauren Purcell, and as many would say, Pat's better half, but that's up for debate. I am one of those regular 9 to 5 kind of girls. I go to work every day and don't dream as much as him, but when I saw that he lost that much weight in that short a time, I definitely jumped on board, because I was one of those hamsters in a wheel. I went to the gym consistently for like the last 10 years, and as time went on, my weight just kept going up and up and up until the point that I finally hit was 240. But I didn't realize I was that heavy because I never stepped on a scale. It was just, size 20 pants, and that was just where I was at. So I have not had as quick a weight loss as Patrick for sure. It's been slow and steady. I'm like little Thomas the Train. And so I just consistently chip away at this weight. And When I was off, I actually had a baby about, like 2 years ago. And when I was off on that year was the best shape I ever got into. I got down to 165, which was so close to my goal. It was not even funny. But in the last year since I've been back to work, I've put some on. I've slipped a little for sure. So now I'm back at the gym. And while I was with Patrick during that beautiful year that we had off together, he actually taught me how to properly work out. So when I do apply myself with my nutrition and my exercise, I find that I get great results, and Vi is definitely the easiest thing you can do to maintain proper nutrition. So, yeah, that's my story so far.
Awesome. I've heard that story because I've lived it for the last almost 13 years. It's been incredible to be able to do the challenge as a couple, and it's been great to have that person next to you that supports you when you're emotional, when you're stressed out, because you don't get fat from eating good stuff. And you usually don't do it because you make great choices. A lot of the times it's snacking while you're sitting watching TV, or when you're stressed because you're broke. I know many times myself when I was broke, McDonald's was my comfort food, especially the dollar menu, because, hey, I was broke. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to talk about emotional eating. I want each of my guests, I'm going to bring them on one at a time, and they're going to give us an emotional eating experience of theirs. And then, Solomon, I'm going to have you give a couple tips on their experience. We're going to go through the panel. So, Faith, can you unmute yourself right now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Faith,
okay.
You have a billion stories you can pick from right now, I'm sure, in the last week. So please share
I
one.
do. Well, I probably started with an emotional eating disorder as a very young child. I suffered a trauma in our family that really opened the door to a fearful situation, and I had started to eat. So that's really where it started. But just to sort of bring it more into today's context, since we're going to be discussing this, and maybe Solomon can give me some strength and some wisdom, but most people don't know that I just ended a 20-year marriage this past weekend, actually. And it was one full of manipulation and mental abuse and stuff like that. And so it was really got to a point where you can be physically strong and be outwardly strong, and that everyone see and believe just how strong you are. But to come home behind closed doors and feel like you're living a lie because you're not strong enough to leave, or you're not strong enough to stand on your own, was really, really difficult. And so I finally made that decision just very recently. And so stress level is probably a 9 or a 10. And I personally am really struggling with the fear, again, of not knowing what the future is going to hold, and, how I'm going to provide for my own 2 kids and stuff like that. And so I've really been struggling to stay away from the junk and stay out of that sort of stuff. So I would really love to hear, when you're sort of in a very stressful situation, just exactly some of the best tips to sort of keep you on track besides being accountable with others.
All right. After hearing you, Faith, it sounds like you've had a traumatic recent experience. You've also had a traumatic past experience, and throughout your life you had a maladaptive behavior of making yourself feel good by eating. And that's what a lot of us do, because we just want to feel, and we don't want to feel bad. And the best way to feel better is to put good stuff in us, stuff that just tastes good, whether it's sugar, because sugar actually gives us a high, and
totally
carbs,
my vice.
Carbs, yes, and carbs make us feel comfortable. And what I would suggest is, identify your truth. What is your truth? Throw away that face that you have shown to all of the world. Let people know that you're hurting. Hurt. Feel it. Grieve the pain. Accept the grief. And then, ask yourself, what will make me happy? And not concentrating on what makes you upset, because when we say that something makes us upset, we're giving our power away. And so we want to take that power, and you can actually say, what can I do to make myself happy in this moment? you have 2 kids. I'm sure you have gone through hundreds of ways in your head that will help you provide for your children. You pull planes, you pull trucks. There is no way you can tell me you cannot provide for 2 children. So whatever doubts that you have, you need to just take those and throw them out. Tell yourself that you are a power woman. You are a woman of strength. Tell yourself that you can do this and do it.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
That's some great advice. Thank you.
Fantastic. That's exactly how I knew this was going to go. Beautiful. I love it. Solomon, hang tight. Terry Coleman, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. First of all, super huge high five, 120 pounds in 90 days. I'm floored. Can you share an emotional or stressful eating event with us and have Solomon give you a tip? Please go ahead.
Well, when my best friend died in childbirth, I took it the hardest. Well, I took it very hard, rather. And I turned to my 2 favorites, honey buns and Coca-Cola. And as I was consoling, being there for her husband, her mom, and everyone else, my comfort was in the Coca-Cola and the honey bun. But the downside to that is I have an allergy to the cocoa bean, which means I was drinking my poison. It gave me a buzz. To me, a Coca-Cola makes me feel like someone else does when they have a martini or an alcoholic beverage. And I enjoyed that buzz. So the Coca-Cola, the M&Ms, anything with chocolate and caffeine gives me that feeling. And it got so bad, I knew what I was doing, but it helped to numb the pain of losing my best friend. And I found myself hemorrhaging internally from not being able to back away from the M&Ms and the Coca-Cola. That is poison to me. I'm one of the few people on this earth that's allergic to chocolate and caffeine. So for me, anytime I go through a stressful time, I find myself, even late at night, I'll grab a bag of M&Ms, the chocolate-covered peanut M&Ms, or I used to drink the Coca-Colas. But I've learned, especially after I studied Ayurvedic medicine, I learned a few things to help me cope with those things. And part of my 120-pound transformation was learning to substitute a placebo for that, which is mint. So I keep my mint handy all the time for that. But the pain of losing my best friend hurt me so much that it didn't matter to me the detriment that I was doing to my body by enjoying a Coca-Cola, a honey bun, and those chocolate-covered the M&Ms.
Solomon, what do you got to say about that?
Well, Therri, a lot of the tips that I had, you are already doing, so you are rocking. But what Faith and Therri both shared is, loss. Going through a divorce or separating from somebody, the death of a best friend or the death of a family member is a huge loss. We go through all these things in our head about, being lonely, being by ourselves, being afraid, not being able to see this person every day or not being able to talk to this person no matter how many miles away that they are, not being able to do the things that we used to do. But, Therri, one thing that you said is that you were taking care of your best friend's husband, I believe you said, and then, her kids. But always remember that we have to take care of ourselves. We have to be our own caretakers. We have to figure out what do we need in order to make it to the next day or the next moment or the next second, because still we're hurting. And like you said, you found a vice. You found something that was actually a poison to you, and you've gone through the method of finding substitutes, which is awesome. You know, ViSalus has some amazing substitutes for snacking. I, for one, absolutely hate cold cereal. But when I want something warm and I want to feel full, I'll actually take some Crunch cereal and put it in my NutriBullet and grind it up into a powder, add some almond milk to it, and turn it into oatmeal or a cream of wheat. And it actually makes me feel really comfortable, really solid, and really full. You can do the same thing. Before we started the call, putting some shake mix on popcorn. I heard that one. Shake mix and coffee, which is actually one of my favorites. I actually make a crunch trail mix when I actually just need something to crunch on. But substitutes are going to be huge when there is a vice out there that is a huge poison to you. But the bottom line of Therri's story, from what I heard, is, your best friend isn't gone because those memories are still there. Everything that you shared does not go away. But still, learn how to take care of yourself in the moment and learn how to, cherish those moments that you did have.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Therri. Thank you, Solomon. Solomon, back on mute. Lauren, right next to me. She's got a short story.
Okay, so when Patrick told me that he was doing a story on emotional eating and wanted me to be in on the call, I kind of was like, what? I don't emotional eat. He's like, are you joking me? So I guess I kind of looked into myself today and looked back on the past, 12 years with him. And yeah, I guess I do tend to emotionally eat, and most of the time that I find myself going to the cupboard and looking in the cupboard is when he's not around. I don't know whether it's subconsciously that, I'm bored or he's not looking, so I don't have to feel guilty about what I'm shoving in my face. But it's, while I'm watching TV at night, folding laundry, I'll find myself going for things that, are definitely not healthy. And I guess over the years I've tried to curb those and make better choices for sure, but old habits die hard. And as soon as he's gone, I'm reaching for stuff that I normally wouldn't. And at work too, I find that because I don't get a chance to take a break often enough. And when I do finally take a break, I've already snacked on enough crap that I'm not even hungry for my healthy meal. So, yeah, that's my story.
Solomon.
Awesome. For a lot of us, Lauren, when we're always on the go, we always just get the quickest thing that's available. But when we create an environment where we actually have healthy options that we actually like, it makes the journey a lot easier. So if we don't have the unhealthy, the junk food items in our cupboards, we don't have that to go to. With me, I had an emotional breakup back in 2013, which also contributed to my weight gain. And I laid in bed for 2 days, several days, more than 2 days, let me just be honest, eating gummy bears and Fritos. And that's all I ate for several days. Didn't have a real meal. It was just gummy bears and Fritos. And now I know that when I'm craving gummy bears and Fritos, hey, something's going on. So I have to ask myself what's going on. And a lot of times it is being bored. And now my motto is boredom doesn't exist. It's just a lack of purpose. And so I do have a purpose now. I want to see my abs one day. And so when I feel like, hey, I want some gummy bears, or hey, I want some Fritos, or hey, I want Little Debbie cakes, I remember that, hey, I want to see abs. And so I'll find a healthy substitute, but I'll also do some crunches. Not too long ago, TeamViHOPE was doing an amazing challenge, an accountability challenge, where we all got together and we shared our workout plans. Find somebody who will hold you accountable and do a workout plan with them, or even keep yourself a journal and, be honest in your journal and record all the healthier options that you made, and then celebrate those healthier options.
Do you find I've been using my Fitness Pal, and that does hold me a lot more accountable, for sure.
Yes, my Fitness Pal is an amazing program. Getting a Fitbit, something that will count your steps throughout the day, is an amazing, any kind of tracker will definitely help you attain the goals that you want, because you're challenging yourself every single day.
Awesome. Thank you, Solomon. Ladies, thank you so much. It's not often you get to have a mental health professional and a behavioral analyst on the call. And I really appreciate you coming out and sharing with us, ladies, sharing your stories, some pain, just bringing it and being real. We wanted everybody to see that we're all the same, whether we've lost 100 pounds, 75 pounds, 200 pounds, or 10 pounds. We all have issues and we all have problems. I'm going to analyze myself because I've spent pretty much my whole life doing it, but in the last few months I've really been working on my mindset and working on visualization. When I became a champion a couple of years ago, it was all about seeing it, believing it before I saw it. I would visualize it and I could make it happen. I'd manifest what happened. But for me, when I feel like I fall down, when something bad happens, when I have that stress, I turn to the drive-thru. Usually it's a left turn, and it's right in there, and it pulls up to the speaker, and I order a McDouble and a junior chicken. I get them because they're cheap, they're from the value menu, they're easy, and I feel less guilty. And then I drive down the street eating them as quickly as I can, and I stop at a garbage can and I throw the wrapper away so there's no evidence. However, the pants that are too tight on my waist now and the 4 inches that I gained over the last few months before I started working on the mindset, that was the evidence that anybody needed, including myself. What it is for me is it's been my crutch. It gives me that grief, has given me that fantastic feeling. It's like a high to me. That's my food addiction. And in the cold weather, it hits me more than anything. I get we're in the wintertime here up in Canada, and I get cabin fever big time. So when I'm out, I hit that comfort food to get the carbs, like Solomon said. I get the fat and grease, and it makes me feel happy. When the warm weather comes, I substitute that feeling by getting on my bike. And for the last 9 months, I've been out of the gym, so it was not getting on a bike. So I've found, for me, when I start to feel down, when I start to feel bad, exercise is the cure for me. The endorphin rush from exercise that I get is equal to or greater than the rush I got from eating the fat, greasy cheeseburger. So for me, it's finding a substitute. The other tips that have been shared tonight that Solomon shared with the stories, find a way to make yourself happy in the moment. Self-affirmations are huge. Understand that if you live in the past, it's the past. It's never going to change. The future is what you do right now. That's how you create the future. So live in the moment. Get through the stress. It's only stress. Life happens. 10% of it is what happens to you, and 90% is how you react to it. You need to be your own caretaker. What do we need to do to make it to the next day? When Therri was sharing her story about getting through her friend dying, sometimes it is hard. At 21 years old, my fiance passed away, and I didn't know how to get through to the next day, and I learned to live slowly, day by day by day. When it comes to the bad foods and Lauren's story, finding healthy substitutes for unhealthy snacks, super important. Be prepared by creating a healthy environment. Get rid of the crap. Keep healthy stuff in your cupboards. But the biggest tip that Solomon gave, and the one that is sticking in my head, and my quote for the day from this call is, boredom doesn't exist. It's a lack of purpose. And that resonated with me so much because over the 8 months I was out of the gym, I was bored because I didn't have a purpose. The challenge is my purpose. The mission of helping people crush obesity and changing lives is my purpose in life. And while I was off, I discovered that. And I realized that I need to connect with the challenge, and I need to live the challenge day in and day out to be able to beat the emotional eating and to be able to eat the stress eating. And what the challenge does for me is it connects me to a group of people just like you guys on this call, the ones that are listening, the ones that shared their stories.
people that care about others, people that want to change their health and change the lives of others. So connect with the people closest to you and the people you can through social media, through TeamViHOPE, and you will beat the stress eating. Find that accountability partner, and you will get through it. I don't even know where to finish from this because this has been an absolutely crazy, amazing call full of stories and tips. We want to thank you guys all for tuning into the TeamViHOPE call each and every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. If you're not part of the challenge, ask the person that you invited to this call to get you involved, because there are people out here that care about you and they want to see you change. Your success is our success, and we want to help you get through it just like we may need to lean on you someday. With that, my name is Pat Ryan, and this call is officially over.